Rachel, thank you. I want to bring in Laura Kurkimaki. She's a conservative strategist. She's with Macmillan Vantage. Good morning. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. Thanks for having me.
So the Prime Minister, Mark Carney, today paused his campaign. Do you agree that that was the right move, given the escalation of the tariff war?
Yes, I think so. I think he doesn't really have an option. Either does the cabinet, and this is the position that they have found themselves in, given President Trump's latest attack on our economy. So I think it made sense for them to come back to Ottawa and try to figure out how they are going to retaliate against the U.S.
So they're having that meeting right now. The Canada-U.S. Cabinet Committee is meeting as of this hour. What sort of response are you looking for? What are you expecting to hear?
I think we're expecting to hear specifics about what they are actually going to target next in order to respond in a dollar-for-dollar way. I think they've been clear that they were waiting for the executive order last night in order to decide how they were going to respond. But I think we need to hear a really strong response. I think Canada so far has been negotiating and reacting from a position of weakness, and we need to start reacting from a position of strength. So hoping to see some specifics and hoping that they come out swinging, because our auto workers, workers on plant floors, as you were just talking about in your previous segment, are really, really worried. I think families in Canada are worried about what this is going to mean for them, for their jobs, how this is going to impact our economy. If inflation is going to go up, as Minister Champagne sort of alluded to this morning briefly. So I think we're hoping to see a strong reaction from Mr. Carney.
I was talking to Tom Mulcair earlier this morning on the show, and he was suggesting it might be a good gesture, a show of solidarity, if Carney reached out to the other leaders during this time of campaigning and kind of brought them in the fold. What do you think about that? Would that benefit Poilievre? Is that something you'd like to see?
I think all the leaders have been reacting in their own ways. Mr. Poilievre, of course, condemned in, I would say, the strongest possible terms, the unprovoked tariffs that President Trump announced last night against the auto sector. I think that Mr. Poilievre has been really clear that we have to retaliate on and target goods and services that we don't need, can buy somewhere else, or make ourselves to maximize the impact on the Americans while minimizing the impact on ourselves. So I think as much information that can be shared, given we're in a crisis here in Canada with the other leaders. I take his point. I'm not sure that that's what the Liberal campaign is going to do, but I think we're going to continue to see the leaders respond as best they can here in the coming hours.
Laura, if the big question for voters is what leader can best stand up to Trump and tariffs, do you see a moment like this as benefiting Carney and hurting Poilievre?
No, I don't think so. I think the Liberals have been negotiating and standing from a very significant position of weakness. It's very clear that President Trump was not interested in talking to the previous Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, or Minister Freeland. Carney has been trying to get a hold of the president, by the sounds of it, for weeks. He is not taking his phone call. It's unclear when or if that phone call is ever going to happen. So I don't believe that it looks like he's in a position of strength right now. I think it's clear that we're finding out about these things at the 11th hour or while the president is in the Oval Office. So I think it's really important that the caretaker government that we're in right now can speak with the Americans with authority. But unfortunately, it looks like we are speaking to them from a position of weakness in the middle of a campaign with someone who was Prime Minister for a week.
Laura Kurkimaki, she's a conservative strategist. Laura, good to see you today. Thanks again.